Okay, so final hot take. So we finally reached our final hot take. This week's content is powerful and eye-opening, especially when thinking about motherhood, reproductive justice, and how society treats people who give birth. Here's what stood out to me. So the first question is, what's the difference between institutional motherhood and experienced motherhood? Adrienne Rich makes a really important distinction here. Institutional motherhood is the socially constructed idea of what a mother should be, sacrificing, selflessness, and defined by her relationship to her children. It's often used to control women, especially through expectations and guilt. On the other hand, experienced motherhood is the real lived experience of being a mother, which can be joyful, messy, empowering, and complex. Also, Andrea O'Reilly says that this distinction is still important today because even now, society pressures women to conform to unrealistic ideals of good motherhood, question mark, while ignoring their real needs, emotions, and challenges. We can't talk about gender justice without recognizing how motherhood is politicized and often exploited. So, second question, how does reproductive justice framework shift our thinking about women's healthcare? This framework, created by women of color, really opens up the conversation. It's not just about access to abortion, it's about the right to have children, not have children, and to raise children in safe, healthy environment. And it also connects reproductive rights to racism, poverty, immigration, and disability, which totally reframes how we look at healthcare. It made me realize that access isn't the same as justice. You can have legal access to something like abortion, but if you don't have transportation, childcare, or money, that right means nothing. Reproductive justice is about real world access, not just legal rights. So third, which policy changed the history.com timeline surprised me the most? Honestly, I was shocked to learn how recent some policies were, like how it wasn't until the 1990s that women in the military got maternity leave, or that the Affordable Care Act in 2010 finally required insurance to cover maternity care. It just shows how long it takes for the law to catch up with people's actual needs and how women's health was often being treated as an afterthought in policymaking, which is a disappointment. Number 4, what does Gloria Steinem say in If Men Could Menstruate, and how did I feel about it? So this piece was hilarious and serious at the same time. Steinem says that if men menstruated, it would become a source of pride, even a competition. There'd be period-themed products, government funding, and bragging rights for who had the worst cramps. She uses humor to flip the script and expose how gender shapes power. It made me laugh, but also made me think hard about how we dismiss and downplay issues that mostly affect women just because they're seen as female problems. Because there's also a saying now that, when women are too irritated, men will say that, oh, it's that time of the month, which is, this exactly made me it reminded me of that memory that I had with a friend of mine. Number 5, what does society need to do differently to support people who give birth? So there is so much things that we can do. Start with paid parental leave, universal health care, and respect for birth workers and midwives. Especially in marginalized communities, we also need to listen to birthing people, trust their experience, and stop brushing off their pain or fears, especially for Black women who are at the highest risk of maternal mortality. Giving birth should be supported, not punished. We need systems that actually care, not just policies that check boxes. So, lastly, my final thoughts. This week really drove home how deeply gender and power are woven into our healthcare, laws, and social norms. If we want real equity, we have to rethink everything from how we treat mothers to how we define reproductive freedom. So, yeah, thank you for sticking with me through all these hot takes. It's been such a learning experience, and I really hope this conversation keep going beyond this class. Thank you.